Three, two, one, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It is June 19th. A very happy Juneteenth. I hope you are having a restful and a relaxing day with family. We are here, though, bringing
No
you
holidays for us.
no holidays for us.
Let's be real.
I know, you know what? We can't complain.
No.
Our job is to sit here and talk to each other about theme parks. So
Right.
every day's a holiday for us. So
That is very true.
and a very happy Father's Day, belated Father's Day to everyone celebrating. I gotta say, I have a complaint. Boys, if you are listening, I have three sons. They all have four legs and whiskers, but they're still my sons.
Yeah.
And every year they do a really nice job of making me a Father's Day card. Bringing me some coffee in bed. It's a little, something thoughtful to show that they care. They remember it's Father's Day. This year, my wife had to go out of town for a few days, and maybe because she wasn't there to remind them, but they completely forgot. They did nothing. And I gotta say, it's a letdown. I'm expecting better
from your fur children.
From my fur children, really. Well, they cost almost as much as real kids,
Right.
Almost. Fortunately, we don't have to save for them for college.
Yeah. They just love.
Yeah. But we are counting on them to take care of us in our old age. Yes. So, yeah, they better get good jobs. All right, enough of that. Let's check on our folks in the comments real quick before we launch into this episode. You can tell it's going to be one of those days. Hello to Michael, always with us. Yes, it's only 189 days until Christmas, and we will definitely be talking about that. In Derek's corner, we've got Blossom and Michelangelo. Hello, as always. Brian Sager checking in, wishing everyone a happy Juneteenth. Yes, box office news. Elementals got mixed reviews and decidedly poor box office. Maybe it should have been a Disney Plus release. That could probably be a whole episode.
Right.
Albie Mars checking in. Hello. John Self saying hello from SeaWorld, and then he's heading over to Universal for more Minion Cafe food. John and I got to meet up at Universal, and we will definitely be talking about that later in the show. Chris saying hello. Hi out there. And Magic City Mayhem reminding us that International Cat Day is August 8th. I can never ignore my fur babies. No. All right. Well, unless you've got anything further to add, let's just do this thing, shall we?
Yes.
Let's kick this off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 196 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you again about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, how have you been this last week?
Fabulous. Very fabulous. Friday night, I got to hang out with Attractions Blake, and we watched the new drone show at Carowinds.
Oh, and thumbs up?
So at this point, I think I've seen Jollywood, Holiday World, Disneyland Paris. This was the best.
You are a drone show the best one. Yeah. That's saying a lot coming from you.
I know.
All right.
I know. I was surprised. My husband was like, I'm emotional. I'm like, we were just like, we loved it. It was so well done. Highly recommend. It's going to be running, I believe, nightly, which is pretty impressive. It was excellent.
Well,
It
they're
was
right there on the state lines. So if they just go overboard with the drones, they can just, hop from one state to another.
right.
No one's knows who has jurisdiction. They'll never catch it. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it was awesome.
I'm sure it is all very safe and professionally done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a park on my bucket list. Someday I'm gonna make a swing through the South and hit that one for
Yes.
sure.
Some Fury 325.
Oh, have you managed? Has your face managed to like restore from being stretched back?
Honestly, it is like one of the most smooth rides. I just love it. It just feels like you're flying, It's and
Yeah.
especially like after doing like Wildcat's Revenge, or I'm like, I need like
Mhm.
a cigar and like
Right.
30 minutes to just like decompress. You go on Fury 325 and you're like, oh, this is just fun,
Oh,
Sometimes you don't want the intensity, you just want to fly. And that's what that is for me.
fantastic. Well, I didn't do anything quite that exciting. I got to see The Flash in a movie theater, which was there's a lot of fun cameos in there. I would say if you are, if nothing else, if you are a fan of Kevin Smith's legendary story about John Peters and the giant spider, if you know what I'm talking about, you must see the ending of The Flash. And I also just hunkered down and got some work done. So
Yes.
that's always fun.
Always. And of course, the big thing on Friday was we found out that Minion Cafe was going to be opening the following day
Oh, absolutely. And
for a soft launch.
that was my big theme park trip for the weekend, and we will definitely chat a little about that when we get to that in the news this week.
Yes.
But speaking of which, without any further ado, let's just jump into the news. All right, first up in the news, we finally have all the details on Christmas and the holidays coming to Walt Disney World in 2023. And that is going to include, for the first time, a hard ticket holiday event at Disney's Hollywood Studios called Jollywood Nights.
Yes, halfway to holidays. It is a bizarre time of the year. I love Christmas. I am not a Grinch, I promise. I am like super holidays. It's just so crazy
Right.
to be talking about it now.
It's so strange. It's like 100 degrees out. It's
Yeah.
like the summer solstice. It's like the hottest, longest time day of the year, and we are already talking about Christmas.
Yes. I mean, for planning purposes, it makes sense, especially,
Absolutely.
Disney World just dropped an insane amount of discounts and they cover like the holiday months.
Mhm.
So if you are planning, now is the time to do so. But, we're going to be talking about Jollywood Nights. That was the biggest one. And of course, the Mickey's Very Merry, they announced dates for that, along with a few new things.
Yep. So the Jollywood Nights, we've got a whole story and video and everything going into all the details about it on attractionsmagazine.com. But basically, it's 10 select nights where you will have to purchase a hard ticket. Will not be included in annual passes or any kind of multi-day pass. And it's got a bunch of entertainment that used to be included for free in regular park admission, plus some new stuff. So mix of old and new. Also, speaking of new, at the Magic Kingdom, there is a new Frozen Holiday Surprise at the castle. Now, it used to be the Frozen Holiday Wish. I think that was the old name. So we changed the name a little. It says, for the first time in forever, guests will be able to join Elsa, Anna, Olaf, Kristoff, and the Snowgies. Snowgies or Snowgies? How do we pronounce it?
I say Snowgies, but
all right, go for it. To join them all at Cinderella's castle for brand new entertainment that will illuminate the castle in a new way. This new way will probably be projection mapping only, because there won't be physical decorations on the castle. If you remember the icicles that they used to hang up that I thought looked kind of cool, that won't be happening. But this will be something that you can see both during regular park hours and during the hard ticket Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party.
So one thing not behind a paywall.
Yes, yes. Speaking of that paywall, that's happening on 25 nights. Starts November 9th, runs through December 22nd. There's stage shows, the Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Fireworks, and a special Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, which is very popular. Though most of that entertainment you can see with regular park admission the last week up till Christmas and between Christmas and New Year's. But if you want to see it between November 9th and the 22nd of December, you're pretty much going to need one of those hard tickets.
Definitely, and they are expensive hard tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, this year price is
but
$159 is the starting price, but good luck finding a night at that price. It goes up to $199. If you break that down per hour, even compared to a regular one-day park ticket, that is a lot. You are going to get shorter lines. We used to say really short lines for all the attractions, but honestly, it's shorter because it's still you're still going to wait a few minutes. And Tron will not be running a standby queue. It will be using a virtual queue. So you'll have one opportunity, I guess, just like you would have an opportunity during the day. I assume that if you had both a daytime ticket and a hard ticket, you'd be able to maybe ride Tron twice in the same day. But boy, that would be an expensive way to ride Tron twice a day.
Honestly, with any of these events, HHN, I find myself enjoying it most if I don't do anything during the day. Otherwise,
absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, sleep in the day before. Have a nice
lunch,
leisurely brunch or whatever, and then save your energy because you're going to need it. You're going to be up and you're going to be walking.
Definitely. If you want to make the most out of it, if you're spending all that money, and that's going to mean hustling around to do rides, plus all the exclusive entertainment and characters and whatnot.
So outside of the Magic Kingdom, we've already mentioned the Jollywood Nights hard ticket event. You will get to see the Sunset Greetings projection show. That is a lot of fun on Sunset Boulevard. Transforms the billboards and also the Tower of Terror itself. That is free. There'll be snowfall on select nights. And they've got some new holiday costumes for Woody, Jesse, and Buzz in Toy Story Land. And of course, Minnie does a holiday character dinner at Hollywood in Vine.
Yes, and honestly, aesthetically, I think Hollywood Studios is the best during Christmas time. It just the so good.
The vintage kind of that Coca-Cola Santa Claus look from the 1940s, 50s, early 60s, especially the way they do around Echo Lake. Seeing the dinosaur with his hat on every year, Santa hat, gets me every year. But I also really love what they do over at Animal Kingdom with the Merry Menagerie. These winter-themed animal puppets that patrol around the in front of the Tree of Life. Plus, and then at night they have the holiday edition of the Awakenings projections on the tree, and of course Mickey and Minnie doing meet and greets in holiday clothes. It's not as flashy as the other parks, but I like it a lot.
Right, and I think you could do a lot of, if you want to do a holiday trip without going to a hard ticket event, there's certainly plenty of things to do, the treats that are available during the day. You can make a holiday themed visit without doing a hard ticket.
Yep. Magic Kingdom. You don't need a hard ticket to experience the Jingle Cruise. That is coming back. You're probably going to want to buy Genie Plus, though, to experience that, because that is Jungle Cruise already gets crazy lines these days, and that is even more popular than the regular version.
Right, and we don't get the amount of overlays that Disneyland gets.
No, we're not getting a Small World or a Haunted Mansion overlay, so it's pretty. Jungle Cruise is pretty much it. I think there is some lighting effects inside Space Mountain that they're bringing back for the holidays, but definitely we don't get all of the bling that California does. Epcot is, of course, bringing back the Candlelight Processional. I mean, they couldn't sell dining packages without it. No. And that is going to run November 24th through December 30th. You've also got the Storytellers that came back a couple of years ago after being suspended during the pandemic. The musical acts, the holiday kitchens, all the usual holiday festivities. Santa
Yeah.
Claus is going to be back in the Odyssey Pavilion again, and my favorite part is the Christmas lights that they do in Living with the Land in the
Oh,
greenhouse.
so good when you go through that tunnel. It's
Mhm.
that is magical. And honestly, like Festival of the Holidays, just because it's one of the smaller ones, is my favorite now because it's not as crazy as like Food and Wine Festival,
Sure.
and it's like, oh, okay, I can eat outside in cooler temperatures.
It's
What a
much
blessing.
more comfortable,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know. People seem to be a little less rowdy,
Yes.
maybe at the Christmas event,
Yeah.
compared to how they can get at Food and Wine or Flower and Garden.
1000%.
Okay, so you want to experience some Disney magic, but you just don't want to pay for a park ticket at all. Disney Springs is the place to go. They've got the Christmas tree stroll. They've got stuff at Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. There's decor and specials all over the complex. I don't know that we have details yet on meeting Santa Claus this year, but they've been using a virtual line system for the
Yeah.
last couple
It's
years.
pretty
Uh,
easy to use too, the
yeah,
virtual at Disney Springs.
usually they'll have a QR code on a sign right
Mhm.
after you get out of the garage that lets you join that list, and then you can shop at your leisure until it's your turn. Santa shows up everywhere. I mean, even at
Yes.
Blizzard Beach. So honestly,
The
you'll
busy
find
man.
you can't not run into Santa Claus somewhere at Disney for Christmas. So a lot of stuff coming back. I think we're kind of finally back to where we were even before in terms of the amount of entertainment for
Correct.
Christmas,
Mhm.
pre-pandemic. Some things now are paywalled that weren't before, but that's how the world works, right?
Right. And that is why I also love Universal holidays because everything is included in the parade and it's just so magical. So also do that, please.
Well, Universal still can't get their Halloween announcements
Oh,
all out quite yet, so let's give them a little time to do Halloween before we force them to release Christmas. But our next story up is going to be Hopping Coasts, and we're going to do this whole thing again for Disneyland Resort. Yes, 2023 holidays at Disneyland. A lot of stuff in common with Disney World, but they got some stuff of their own, including some brand new holiday outfits debuting for Mickey and Minnie. Festive mid-century modern inspired attire.
so good. So, so, so good. I love these outfits when I saw it.
Yeah, Mickey's got a really cute sweater going on.
It looks like they're
And
like gonna go to Palm Springs after their shift.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and Minnie's got the like kind of shawl thing with the
It's
green
perfect.
belt with the red dress. I think it's a nice combo.
Yes. And of
Um,
course, the biggie there, holiday ride transformations. The
yes,
overlays there are perfection, chef's kiss. So we're excited that we got some news about that.
absolutely. So the no announcement has been officially made yet about the return of Haunted Mansion Holiday, but I would place money on that coming back. They get a new gingerbread cake on the ballroom table every year, and other than that, it's pretty much the same attraction from year to year. But it's always a favorite. Always gets
Mhm.
long lines.
So good.
But we're gonna get the Small World holiday overlay coming back. And that includes both the overlay inside and swapping out the music, plus those regular projection shows that they do on the exterior. Both really
They're
great.
so nice when they do those in the sun setting, and it's just, it's really pretty.
Yep. Um, New details have been revealed. So last year, the event ran November 11th through January 8th. So we're guessing that the time frame is going to be very similar. We also know that the Festival of the Holidays is going to return to DCA, and that's a celebration of all holidays, but mostly Christmas. It's a Muppet Vision joke.
Mhm.
No, they actually squeeze in Navidad, Hanukkah, Diwali, Kwanzaa, and Three Kings Day in there.
Also a
So
great festival.
a great festival, absolutely. You can find more about all of Disneyland's happenings on our website, attractionsmagazine.com, or at disneyland.disney.go.com. I am really hoping that I can make it out to Disneyland this year for either Halloween or Christmas. I haven't been there for a holiday celebration since right after the pandemic. So,
And it's almost Oogie Boogie ticket time very soon.
yes. Yeah, Michael points out that the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay has been at Disneyland since 2001. It's gone
Yep.
through some evolution over the years, but it is crazy to think that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it can order a drink now. You
Right.
know, it's
True.
it's probably older than a lot of people who are listening to this podcast. So, wow. Um,
Oh, more Christmas.
no. How did I get two of those? Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up twice. Disneyland Pride Night. That is our next topic. And it is one for the history books. On June 13th, Disneyland Resort made history with the first ever LGBTQ plus Pride celebration inside a United States Disney park. Now, there have obviously been plenty of Pride events, gay days, things like that held, but those have always been third-party events, private events that were either just held during the day, unofficially, or was a private buyout at night. This is the first time that Disney themselves has had their own hard ticket event dedicated to Pride. And from the pictures I saw, it looked amazing.
Absolutely. I had a lot of friends there, was following, all the videos and stuff. It looked like a genuine party.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like, after hours events don't really have that party feel, but this was like so lively and just, it looked like so much fun with music, lights, everything.
Absolutely. Well, obviously tickets for this sold out. And the folks who were lucky enough to get in saw rainbows everywhere. Anywhere that you could throw a projection or colored lighting gobo, they threw up a rainbow from Small World exterior to Big Thunder Trail to banners on the Main Street train station. And you could also eat a rainbow. They had
so good.
Rainbow colored food of every kind.
The gray stuff is the one that I wanted to try. It looks amazing.
Is it? I mean, if it's gray stuff, but it's rainbow, is it still gray stuff anyway? It's like if a tree falls in the forest, no one hears it, doesn't make a sound. I don't know.
No, but this looked really epic. Last year, Disneyland Paris did a Pride Night, and it kind of looked like similar vibes. Like you're at like a dance party, and this lived up to it.
Absolutely. Well, they had special welcome fireworks. They had character cavalcades. They had parade floats with DJs and characters partying. We've got a great video on our YouTube channel of the Pride Night Cavalcade that you can check out. And they have they did some interesting things with character interactions. The one big issue that I always have with these hard ticket events is that you get lines, sometimes half hour, an hour or more, just to meet a character because it's a rare character.
Right.
And that's great, but I prefer seeing them out and about, not just stuck in a place, but like interacting with people, dancing.
It's more organic, and
exactly.
You can get your picture.
Free range characters is what we call it, and that's my favorite kind of character interaction.
Same. I mean, I know you're probably like me. You're not going to wait an hour in a line to do a picture, but the way Oogie Boogie Bash does it, I love. I think that is genius, perfect. You kind of walk around, and it looks like at the event they did some Oogie Boogie style character interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the when they kind of have a treat trail where you're sort of zigzagging through a queue and they've got a character up, and they're usually very interactive. They're not just standing there posing for a picture, but they're heckling the crowd. They're doing improv, and then you get some food, you get some candy at the end. This time they had no candy, but they had that similar sort of thing, and they had some really rare characters, like we mentioned, Jane and Turk from Tarzan here, and the Muses from Hercules.
Cool.
That was really neat. So of course they did have lineups taking more traditional PhotoPass pictures. PhotoPass always included in these hard ticket events. But I think that a lot of people came to dance, and
Yeah.
they had DJs set up pretty much everywhere. Floating DJ in the middle of the rivers of America. You got to love that. Stitch was over in Tomorrowland. They even opened up the Golden Horseshoe,
Oh,
and just seeing crowds of people just packed onto Main Street, dancing away. It was really, really kind of amazing.
it looks so fun.
So considering that this one sold out, we'd be pretty shocked if this did not come back next year. I would love to see it come here to Florida. I don't know if the political climate here in Florida right now is that friendly to it, unfortunately, but I'm really glad to see that California had such great success with it. All right, are you ready for our next story?
Yes.
All right. Well, I had mentioned before that we have to get through HHN announcements before we can talk about Universal Christmas, and we finally have one. People have been desperate on social media for a house announcement, and they got a big one. The Last of Us Part 1, the hit PlayStation video game from Naughty Dog and Sony, is coming to Orlando and Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights this year. Confirmed.
Very exciting. I haven't played this game, but my sister kind of gave me a rundown of what it's all about, and it sounds like it's going to be amazing and also very scary.
I am an Xbox person, so I have not played it either, unfortunately. But I have watched lots of YouTube videos, and I've heard a lot about the HBO series. It is directly based on the game,
Yep.
not the series, but the series seems to be really closely based on the game. So I think if you've seen either, you'll get it. And honestly, it's a haunted house involving zombies that seem to be made of fungus.
Right.
There's something to do with mold in wheat, flour. I don't know. I don't know if that was a plot twist or spoiler alert, but anyway, it's gonna have lots of gooey things chasing after you in the dark. How much do you really need to know about the backstory to enjoy one of Universal's haunted houses? If you don't
know anything, yeah.
it can be just an original IP to you if you've never played the game, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. This looks really fun. So it's going to be set in a ravaged civilization, and it's going to follow the two main characters. So I expect lots of screams and jump scares, because if you've seen a picture of these creatures, they look really nasty.
Yeah. They look. It looks to me the art style of the game looks more like John Carpenter's The Thing than your typical Romero style zombie. This is going to be on both coasts, so we've got an article with some quotes from both Laura Sauls, who works here in Orlando, and John Murdy, who is out at HHN in Hollywood. So if you are bi-coastal, you might be able to get to see them both and see the little subtle differences between them.
Yes. I love figuring out like just the different things and the choices. Like, this is so bizarre, but like, you remember Blumhouse last year, the black phone part?
Yes.
In Orlando, when the grabber was in the kitchen on the chair, he had a shirt on, but in Hollywood, he was shirtless. And I was like, I wonder why. I mean, it's just weird. These little changes. I wonder why,
Interesting.
those decisions were made.
Well, I think that this game's got a lot of fans. It's actually been around for 10 years. I didn't realize that the game is that old. So it's built up a big fan base who are going to be really excited to follow in the footsteps of Joel and Ellie as they try to escape the mayhem of the infected. You're going to see runners, stalkers, clickers, and also hunters who are the human bad guys as you try to navigate the Pittsburgh quarantine zone. And I can tell you, Pittsburgh without zombies can be scary enough. So,
Facts.
So this all starts in Hollywood on September 7th and kicks off a week earlier in Orlando on September 1st. Tickets and vacation packages are available now. And not for nothing, but our rumor queue column called this a while ago. So if you are, so we're batting 1 for 1 right now. And we've also predicted that Stranger Things season 4 is also going to be coming up. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully that prediction will come
Oh, yes.
true as well.
I restarted Stranger Things this weekend as a way to manifest a next announcement. If you follow Horror Nights on socials, they did post it will be a week until our next announcement or something like that. So
I think you're going to see a regular drop of announcements now.
yeah.
Yep.
Let's
sure.
hope. I'm wondering if everything with like the Minion Land delayed messed up things. Who knows?
Speaking of which,
Yes.
Minion Cafe, the bakery, the store, and more have now soft opened at Minion Land on Illumination Avenue at Universal Studios, Florida. And I was there on opening day to try some of the food. So here's the story. We've been talking a lot about VillainCon, which is the new shooting dark ride, if you can call a moving walkway a ride, that is coming, replacing Shrek 4D. It's opening summer. And I think a lot of people were hoping that summer would mean like Memorial Day or 4th of July. Looking closer to August for that. Still no official opening date, but looking closer to August for a grand opening. They're doing training, they're doing testing right now. But the rest of the land is basically open now. And the centerpiece of this is Minion Cafe. Used to be Monsters Cafe. And I got to say, I was not a hater of Monsters Cafe. I liked a lot of stuff there. But
I like their mac and cheese.
This is a huge, huge upgrade in every way. Visually, I love the classic monsters, and we're going to see a lot more of them when Epic opens. But this is, I think, the best decorated Minion thing I've seen them do yet. Even better than the Minion Cafe that they have out in California.
Wow, that's big.
You walk in, and the main room that used to be where you used to order your food and see, them cooking it in the back. This is now the kitchen area, and there's this big kind of sculpture. I kind of wish it had a little more kinetic movement, like this. I wish this thing would rotate or something, but it's really clever with lots of little Easter eggs. It's this kind of Rube Goldberg contraption of bananas and spirals, slides and things that the minions are making your food on. And then the whole rest of the building, each room has a different theme. There's one that's the bedroom of the minions, and you can see kind of their toys and their souvenirs. And then another side is the break room for the offices, and there's a snack machine and their lockers, and just there's so much detail everywhere. So much stuff to look at.
Right. I love the food at the Hollywood version, but the inside is really just like a quick service restaurant. There's not really a lot of theming. It's more exterior. So.
Exactly. This in and out, really well themed. And I got to say, the Minion Cafe in Hollywood isn't bad. This, I thought, was a definite improvement in the variety and the quality, and also the portion size. I was impressed that prices were pretty much standard for Universal, but I thought the portion sizes were all pretty generous.
What did you eat?
So the thing that I tried myself, and then I met with some people who tried pretty much everything on the menu. Right here, the Otto's Noodle Bowl, which is an udon noodle soup. It's sort of like a ramen, but with thicker, softer noodles. It had charred corn kernels, which were excellent. It had a really nice shrimp dumpling that had great flavor. A tar egg, which is a hard-boiled egg cooked in soy sauce, so it's got a little flavor to the outside. It's got pork that is kind of thin and shredded. A lot of times they use a pork belly that's a little too thick and chewy, but this was really kind of finely chopped. My only complaint is that they called it a tonkatsu broth. And if you know ramen,
Mhm.
tonkatsu is usually a very creamy, heavy
Mhm.
white broth that's it's made with pork bone,
It's
and you
rich,
can it
yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
it like coats the inside of your mouth. And this the flavor wasn't bad, but it was more I just lost my microphone, excuse me. More of a um almost a chicken broth. It was
Yeah.
not that unctuous, thick broth of a real tonkatsu.
Well, that's a bummer.
Uh,
I always get a pork broth when I
yeah,
do ramen.
it,
The chicken broth is
yeah,
too thin,
yeah.
it's more soupy.
Yeah, it's it like I said, not bad. For theme park Japanese food, it was excellent. For a theme park that's not in Japan.
Yeah.
But compared to your local ramen bar, just okay.
Mhm.
But the presentation is why you have to order this thing. It comes out with all the ingredients dry, and they have a separate bowl. They have the noodles in a bowl, and it had eyeballs on it. So they flip the noodles over, so it's a little minion head.
Oh,
And
fun.
then they have the soup in another bowl with eyeballs, and they remove the bowl from the noodles at the same time that they pour the broth on to turn it into soup. It's the kind of fancy presentation that you would see in like an upscale restaurant.
I
And I
love
think they're mostly doing it because people would steal the little minion eyeball bowls
Yes.
otherwise.
So is this sort of like Toadstool where you order and then it's sort of like waiter
No, it
service?
is better than that. This
Oh.
is, at least for right now, basically mobile order only. The way it works is that, or at least the way it worked for me, is that I stood outside of the restaurant. I picked what I wanted to order on the app, showed it to them at the front door, and they that I had ordered, and they showed me to a table. And at that table, I tapped the phone with the app against the RFID tag on the table, and it instantly knew, okay, you're here, you're ready,
Wow.
and my food showed up at my table in about 15 minutes.
That
And
is
they
very
brought
quick.
they brought me water, they brought me silverware, and I would say uh, Universal's mobile ordering service, especially when it's the table service, can be really hit or miss. I've had
Mhm.
it worked great. I've had it worked awful. This was the smoothest that I've had it work so far. Now, this is just opening day. So if you do not do the app, there is one cash register where you can request to go and place an order in person. But this is really set up for mobile order,
Wow.
for
That's
sure.
really interesting because Universal doesn't push mobile ordering like at
No,
all.
but they are starting to. I've noticed a lot of changes to mobile order, both in Hollywood and they finally started rolling out in Hollywood. They didn't have it at all
Mhm.
for a long time. And in Florida, for the locations that are or not table service, but window service, like a designated pickup window, they now Chef's Kiss finally have windows, time windows, where when you order your food, like Disney does, you
Right.
say, "This is when I'm going to come." Because before they would have no idea when anyone was going to show up.
Right. It was just
And
free
once
for
you finally said you were there, it could take a long, long time before it
all.
was ready. Now, when you order your food, you're picking a 15-minute window, which you can reschedule if you need to. But it means that um, I went to Fast Food Boulevard and got the basket of bait the other day, which still thumbs up.
Mm.
Uh, Still love that calamari. Um, Everyone was so mad at me because there's the line of people who are standing there waiting
It's
because
always
as
so
walk up,
long.
and the line for mobile is just to the left of that, and the little barrier between us, and everyone was giving me side eye that I was jumping past them and getting their food. I was like, sorry, it's mobile order. Uh,
Right. I mean, just
so
Universal is gonna have to push it more,
yeah,
especially with, Nintendo coming there, which is also reliant on an app. I think they're like getting their technology
you
up
know they weren't ready for it when the
there. Mhm.
pandemic hit, and they were sort of forced to jump into it, and uh, it only worked when they had very little limited capacity. Their old
Right.
mobile order system, when it came up against full capacity, just completely broke down. But I think now that they've kind of gotten a handle on it, at least at most of locations, so I recommend give it a shot. It definitely saved me some time. Other food recommendations here. Like I said, I didn't try everything yet. I'm going to be making some return trips.
Yes.
But I know our good friend John Self, who was checking in earlier, has worked his way through most of the menu already. And recommendations that I have been given are the fried cauliflower, which is
Oh, yes.
vegan, and I've heard it's
Mhm.
really good. And also, definitely not vegan or kosher, but the pork sandwich has some thumbs up.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed results on some of the dessert, the shakes. They always have very sweet drinks, and so depending on how sugary you like your food, I've heard mixed results on that.
I'm
But
sad they didn't bring over the banana barbecue sauce.
oh no, I did not have any banana barbecue
Ugh.
sauce, but I want to go back and try that. There's a surprisingly wide menu. They've got a bunch of kids items, really diverse choices. I think it's a really, really great addition to their dining lineup. In addition to the cafe, we have Bake My Day. The Minion Bakery is open. This is a mix of some sweets that are prepackaged. They do have a case full of treats. Sorry to report that none of them are vegan right now. Hopefully that can change in the
No,
future.
and Universal does the best vegan
I
dessert.
know, I
Like
know.
the
They've
vegan
done,
brownie. Oh,
yeah. If you are vegan, this is not one of our news items, but they recently opened a new snack stand right at the very front of the park, just outside of Minion Land, that is mostly vegan. They have vegan hand pies,
mm.
brownies, snowballs, a bunch of stuff, and it's all. I mean, even if you're not vegan, it's all really tasty.
Oh yeah, and that's the ham pie that I think started in Wizarding
Yes,
World. Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's that park needed another good spot to grab some vegan nosh. So nothing vegan right now in Bake My Day, but there's snacks and there's also snack themed merchandise. Some really cute stuff.
Yes, I
Um,
may have gotten a bunch of stuff from the cotton candy line that they
oh
did.
yeah,
Yes, the merch is so good with everything Minion. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Um, Other additions that are open now, where the frozen drink stand for the Monsters Cafe used to be, is now Popanana with banana and regular flavored popcorn. That is vegan. They also you can get it in a very expensive specialty bucket. I mean, I guess it's not that expensive, like 13 and something dollars.
Right.
Uh, but the banana is kind of like got a kettle corn kind of texture, but the banana is it's a subtle banana. It's not like a slap you in your face banana.
Interesting. I had
Uh,
there was banana popcorn in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland like
yes, I like
2 years
that a lot.
ago.
That was a
That was
banana
great.
chocolate mix that was really
Yes.
tasty.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think this
so
is a little less banana-y than that from what I've heard,
interesting.
but I haven't tried it yet myself. They do have a Freeze Ray Pops popsicle stand with Gru and Minion popsicles that are
Cute.
really adorable. They've also got popsicles in a variety of flavors, including a couple that are vegan, like cotton candy and coconut and lemon mint. Bunch of flavors there to try out. And if you are into meeting characters, they have debuted some new character costumes. They have some new characters from Sing, and they've got some revamped Minion costumes where the eyes are now googly. I don't think I'd seen that before, but when they shake their bodies, their
Oh
eyes start to
yes.
swing
Wait,
back
I'm
and
trying
forth.
to. So I think at Hollywood
Do they
they
have those in Hollywood? Yeah, I
yeah
don't know if I'd seen those previously in
yeah
Orlando. But we're still waiting for the ride to open. Like
yeah.
we said, we're in the testing and training phase, and we could see soft openings, small group testing happening anytime in the next month or so. But I would not count on a grand opening until August on that
Correct.
one.
Yeah. Mhm.
But the Villain Con exit gift shop, which is called Evil Stuff, has opened. We chatted about that previously, And that one is really cute for all of the statues inside of the Minions cosplaying as their favorite villains. So go and check that one out if you're there.
Adorable. So excited for the ride. I think it's a very good addition to
Yeah.
Universal Studios Florida.
All right. And boy, this is a jam-packed week of news. We touched on this a little earlier. Carowinds has had their 50th anniversary, and they are wowing them with drones, fireworks, and more. You were one of those folks who got wowed.
Yes, I was one of the folks that got wowed. Super impressive. Blake was there as well. It was amazing. I mean, it's something crazy about the drone show, but it was also like the proximity to kind of how close you are. Like the Dollywood one, it feels, because it's like backdrop to the mountains. At Carowinds, they do it over the water park, which is attached to the theme park. And it just, I don't know, it was like a perfect vantage point to watch it. Super impressive. It taps into, much like the rest of the 50th, its history of, aviation and exploration in the Carolinas. So they use like planes and stuff they make with the drones. And it was just magical. It was really good. Yeah.
Wow. Well, the park celebrated its 50th anniversary on June 16th with a rededication from Manny Gonzalez, who's the general manager. And they have brought on, as you mentioned, a bunch of new additions for 2023 themed to aviation. The show that you got to see is called 50 Nights of Fire, and it's going to keep running through the summer. And it honors the park's history using a combination of fireworks and drones, everything from jack-o'-lanterns to fighter jets floating in the air, and lots of little references to the park's past,
Right.
Including the old Top Gun roller coaster, if you remember the days when Paramount owned the park,
Right.
and everyone's favorite beagle, Snoopy himself.
Yes, I love that. I mean,
I think it would be worth seeing this show just to see Snoopy.
Yes, that was so cute. Definitely love the history tie-in, and they had mentioned Scarowinds, and you have the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Awesome. Well, usually they are only doing these fireworks on a major holiday, but this year it's pretty special. So they are doing this every single night going through August 6th. And as you mentioned, the water park, Carolina Harbor, that shuts down at sundown. So position yourself around the Country Fair area, like near the electro spin ride.
Yeah, I was right in front of there, and it was perfect.
Excellent. There's also a street party happening before the fireworks each night with live singers and dancers.
This is
there
fun.
is an official Carowinds TikTok dance. Seriously?
Yes, there is, and they taught it at one of the shows. Earlier, there's a retrospect show, which was excellent. That was just like old time songs. Vocalists were insane, and then they teach you the Carowinds TikTok dance.
Awesome.
I sort of learned it, but very terribly.
Wow. Well, in addition, there is a new show called Retrospect. It features 5 decades of radio hits and live singers doing everything from Aha to One Direction to Ariana Grande and Iggy Azalea. That's happening over near the Sky Tower.
Yeah, this was amazing. Their talent is just next level. I mean, if you think about it, there's not really a lot of opportunities if you want to be a performer to, work on your craft. So that's why I love seeing these theme park shows, because you're really getting super talented people, and these vocalists were just wow.
Oh yeah, it was a very similar thing with Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Hershey Park, where you have a theme park that invests in live entertainment. It becomes a magnet for people in that state if there are not a lot of other, you're not living near Broadway or Hollywood so it attracts a lot of amazingly talented people.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I remember in college I had friends that would work Hershey in the
Mhm.
summer. You know, they
Yep.
put that to performers, and so you're getting really, really good people.
Yep.
And these vocalists were top notch.
Speaking of really good people, Brad Ross, who is an international star illusionist, is bringing the Carowinds Theater back to its roots. It started off when it was opened in 1973, showing a magic show, and now it's back with another magic show running on select dates through August 6th.
This was awesome, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't just like he was doing illusions. It was a scripted show, and there was also a character playing the like magician from 50 years ago in this
Oh,
really old school like Harry Houdini-esque
okay.
thing. So it's like it was a show. I loved it. It was wonderful.
Excellent. Well, of course, it is not a celebration in a theme park without food.
No.
You've got everything from the Carolina Gold Rusher cheeseburger to the 50 years of funnel cake.
I didn't try the funnel cake, but I did try the cookie and the cupcake, and they were excellent.
Excellent. And did you pick up any of the 50th anniversary merchandise?
I did. I got the
Oh,
bucket.
yeah. Oh, that is a nice bucket hat.
Yes.
Bucket hats are making a comeback for good reason.
Oh yeah. So this is from the map collection that they've
Yes.
had for a bit, which is they've had a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, and socks. But the t-shirt and sweatshirt were just a little too much for me with that much pattern. So when they came out with the bucket hat, I'm like, I need this. This is a perfect pool hat, and I've already
Yeah.
worn it this weekend at the pool. So
You know, I miss this used to be a staple. I had from I still have on my wall from when I was a kid from Disney World, the fun map, the giant fold out map that's got intricate kind of cartoon detail.
yeah.
And you could I mean you could spend hours just looking at all the little things in those fun maps, and I love that they are bringing those back. I wish they would do modern ones.
Oh my God.
for
I
the
know.
park.
And it's like I save everything from all the parks. And it's like my older maps are just the coolest. The new
Yeah.
new ones are like whatever, they're very practical.
Yep.
But these older
Well, this is just one part of the summer fun happening all summer long. We've got videos up there about the new Aeronautica landing, the new rides and attractions that they have. And of course, Formula 325, the roller coaster that we were talking about before. Lots of great reasons to visit. They've even got a Grand Carnival Food Festival happening June 24th through July 9th. So lots of good reasons to pick up that silver pass or gold pass. Really reasonable prices.
Right.
$115 to $135. Even their top line platinum pass is only $280, and that
Yep.
gets you into every Cedar Fair park around the country.
No, absolutely. I have the gold one, and I didn't even know, but it includes unlimited Carowinds too.
Nice.
So I was like,
Nice.
oh, wow. No brainer, especially if you're hitting the haunts. It's cheaper to just buy the gold pass.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that will conclude Carowinds, but we've got one final bit of news in the queue, and that is it is time to say goodbye to Sand Serpent, the Wild Mouse style roller coaster at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, is finally being retired. And I know that this ride is older than a lot of people who are listening to it because I rode it its opening season at its opening park under its opening name, and I bet no one but me remembers what this originally was.
I do not. Please tell me.
Okay, so Sand Serpent at Busch Gardens. It is, like I said, a Wild Mouse coaster. It is one of 10 coasters at Busch Gardens, Tampa, and I would call it is probably out of those 10, either number 10 or number 9 in terms of re-rideability, quality,
Right.
entertainment value. But I have a soft spot for it in my heart because it debuted in 1996 at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, where it was called
your park.
Wild Izzy. This was my senior year of college that it opened. And why was it named the Wild Izzy?
What does that mean?
because it was the year of the Summer Games, the Summer Olympics in Atlanta, which was not that far away. And Izzy was the weird blobby mascot of the Summer Games in Atlanta. Most people only remember the Summer Games in Atlanta because of
Right.
Richard Jewell, the bombing where he was
Right.
accused of.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the Wild Izzy was their idea to celebrate the Summer Games with a painful little wild mouse coaster. It honestly wasn't that painful its opening season, but that was 1996. That was a long time
Well,
ago.
you were younger and more
I
limber.
was more limber back then, yes.
As we get
And
older,
and
any of these hurt.
and to be frank, back then Busch Gardens let you have 2 free beers a day every day. And I had turned 21 my senior year of college. So I had probably had at least 1 beer every time that I rode the Wild Izzy, which definitely helps. Yeah, so it's got its name changed. It got shipped down south. It got rebuilt as the Sand Serpent. And it has been sitting there at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, lo these many years, but its time has finally come.
It's like Adam, my husband, loves these, so I will go on them with him, but I don't know, they're not my thing. They're so intense. I
I,
scream. I think he likes to hear me scream because I won't scream on a roller coaster. On this, I scream.
what makes these, they don't go very fast. They don't have very big drops. What makes them so intense is the lateral forces. There is typically no banking in a wild
Right.
when you turn a corner, everyone slams against the outside. And if you are sitting next to someone, you know, you depending on which side you are on, you will get crushed or you will do the crushing. And uh, I, my my wild mouse that I love to hate the most is probably Goofy's Sky School at Disneyland,
Right.
especially if you can use the single rider. It's not worth waiting for.
No.
But if you can use the single rider, it is just people get on and you hear them like they think, oh, this is going to be a cute little kiddie coaster. And then they hit that first turn and you just hear them scream in agony and surprise. That never gets old. It's terrible and wonderful in the same time.
No, they are. Yeah, exactly. They are terrifying,
Right.
and they don't look like they are.
So
But they are.
if you love to be tortured by Sand Serpent, if you are an annual pass holder or annual pass member, you can get exclusive early ride time on Sand Serpent from June 30th through July 4th. And they've also got an ongoing event right now, Summer Nights, during the evening, where you can get your last nighttime ride in on Sand Serpent. That one's included in a regular park admission. The very last day that you can ride Sand Serpent is July 9th. So if for some unknown reason you really, really want to experience this again, that's your deadline, July 9th.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
We're pretty sure something is going to come and replace this, but we don't have any official announcement. We just know that there are addition plans to expand Pantopia. So we will just have to wait and see. Guessing probably before the end of the year, we will have some official details on what is going to take its place. Are you going to miss this one?
No. I can tell you no.
Brutal.
I don't think
Don't
I've
hold back.
been
No,
on
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like I said, it's got a place in my heart because it's history, but I'm ready to let it be history.
Yes.
Don't need to be in the present. So we have come to the end of the news in the queue, but before we jump into this week's main attraction, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
All right, and
It's time for the main attraction.
all right. Well, we already talked about it a bit at the top of the show when we covered the general announcements about about the holidays at Walt Disney World. But now we are going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the details about Disney's Jollywood Nights.
Correct. Yes, this is brand new, so it warrants a little deep dive. So this is going to be an after-hours, hard-ticketed event taking place at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it's only 10 evenings. So I was a little surprised by that amount. Were
Mhm.
you a little bit like, I thought there would be more? I don't know.
Yeah,
Because
it
fell out
almost
so well.
well, we have gotten used to between Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Holiday Party basically taking over, like 4 nights a week of the Magic Kingdom for 3 solid months. This kind of seems to me like they are dipping their toes in the water and
Yes.
seeing what the response is. I think that especially if you are going to close the Magic Kingdom early for lots of nights, and this is a peak time of the year, to both close Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios early. We know from the recent TA-ACOM report that these are Disney's top 2 performing parks in terms of attendance. In 2022 at least, Magic Kingdom more or less held steady. Hollywood Studios held steady, saw a tiny bit of growth. Epcot and Animal Kingdom have lost attendance, relatively speaking, to the point where Islands of Adventure is above Hollywood Studios,
Right.
and Universal Studios Florida is just below it. So you've got to imagine, in terms of market share, in terms of having a place to put these guests that you want to be filling your hotels with these hotel discounts that they are going to offer through the fall and the winter, which is honestly quite unusual. We haven't seen those discounting. So they're trying to fill up the parks. They're trying to fill up the resort for this holiday season to get those numbers up. You got to have somewhere to put those people. And by nature, these hard ticket events have limited attendance. So they reduce the number of people that you're holding in the park. So unless they want to convince everyone to go to Epcot, they've kind of limited in how many nights they can take over the parks for hard ticket events. I imagine that if we looked at the calendar, we would see that these 10 evenings are probably evenings that the Magic Kingdom is not closing early for their Mickey's event.
Right. So if you are going to be at Hollywood, I guess you got to see Fantasmic and then get out of there.
Yeah. Speaking of Fantasmic, this event starts at 8:30 p.m. and runs till 12:30 a.m. Now, normally, in order to see Fantasmic, the park has to close later than 8 o'clock. So we'll have to check the entertainment schedule. If you are just there on a day ticket, you might not be able to see Fantasmic. At the absolute most, there will only be one showing of Fantasmic
Yes,
on these nights.
I think
Whereas-
someone from the event confirmed
Confirm
it.
that. So
Yeah,
there
that
will be a
it's
single
one-
showing. Yeah.
Yes, one
But-
single showing.
And that single showing on nights where they only do one Fantasmic, that one showing can get really crowded.
Oh my
So
God, yeah.
keep that in mind if you are planning on. We always recommend don't burn a day ticket before you are going to a hard ticket event that night.
Do not.
But also be careful if you are going to use your day ticket on a day where you're going to have to be kicked out early because of a hard ticket event. Plan that carefully, because you might miss out on things like Fantasmic or fireworks or stuff that would be harder to see on a day like that.
Absolutely, especially if you don't have a park house, you don't want to necessarily waste it on this day. But as far as events go, so
Mhm.
I'm not a very merry or a not so scary person. That's just not my style.
Mhm.
I like this because it seems a little bit more adult focused.
Yeah. So, what are some of the events at the Jollywood? What are some of the happenings that you were most excited about seeing
Well,
on
I
this
think you
list?
could probably guess, and it's going to be having a craft cocktail at the Hollywood Tower Hotel courtyard. So, if you ever were interested in doing a Disney wedding, that is one of the venues that you could either have your ceremony or like a dinner at. And so I'm like, I've always wanted to go to something there.
Yes.
That is reason alone for me to purchase a ticket.
It is a lovely, very underused spot in the
Mhm.
parks. And there was a brief time where it looked like they were going to put a bar in the exit of Tower of Terror.
Yes, that was I remember it vividly. It
It
was
was like it all got set up and then it
yes.
disappeared.
So the funny you say that because that was right when Nomad Lounge opened at Animal Kingdom,
Yes,
and
yes.
I was there for opening, and I happened to be sitting next to an Imagineer who worked on Nomad, and I was
Mm,
like, "Tell me about this Tower of Terror bar," and he was like, "There was never a plan for it. It was just a rumor."
interesting.
Interesting,
Interesting.
yes. So just had to share that, but now
Well, now you will finally get
I'm really
maybe I mean sometimes people start rumors in order to make them come true.
right.
And maybe this is one of those cases. You're finally going to get to visit the Tip Top Lounge. Um, and they mentioned that it will feature some new guests stuck in the Twilight
I
Zone. So I'm
know.
wondering if
Oh my
it'd
god.
probably be an interactive walk around
Yes.
character. They've
So
done Twilight Zone bellhop characters
yes. Mhm.
and stuff for special events before. So that is really neat. Um,
Absolutely. But I'm worried about the capacity because that is very small.
mhm.
And this is going to be definitely a selling point for a lot of visitors. So I guess if you're going to this event, you're going to want to like beeline it right
Yeah.
there and wait.
There also there is also going to be a jazz lounge right around the corner at the Hollywood Brown Derby. So that also sounds interesting. I gotta say, I am a very serious adult, which is the reason that my favorite thing on this is the new musical variety show with Kermit the Frog and Miss
Yes.
Piggy.
Oh,
It has been way too long since we've had a new Muppet entertainment offering. As far as I'm concerned, we need a new Muppet show at Disney every year or two. So this is interesting. I can't remember. I know the Muppets have had stage shows before. I don't remember them interacting with Disney characters before. So
right.
Kermit and Miss Piggy are going to host a show featuring Tiana, Belle, Minnie, and Mickey Mouse. And it's not just going to be a projection or screen. I think it's going to be full body costume characters.
Mhm.
I personally, I'd prefer it if they did with puppets, but I think it might be weird if you have like a tiny Kermit and a full sized Mickey Mouse.
Hey, it sounds
I don't know if
perfect
that
to
works.
me. That's why I love this event is because it really feels like targeted for a specific sector of Disney fans, like very serious Disney fans. We have a lot of
Yeah.
people that love Muppets. We have a lot of people that love, the lore of the Tip Top Lounge, and it's just like an event that feels like it's for us.
Yeah. And, we mentioned earlier that California gets a great holiday overlay at their Haunted Mansion with Nightmare Before Christmas. We unfortunately will never probably get that in Orlando, but we are going to get a sing along of the Nightmare Before Christmas in the Hyperion Theater. And that's going to feature Jack and Oogie Boogie. And I expect that will be kind of similar to the Frozen sing along show that
Mhm.
they do.
That would
I
be
was
fun.
once on a Disney Cruise Line where they showed Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D with 4D effects and had the sing along subtitles. And that was so much fun. That was the whole movie. This will probably be an edited down version because you don't want to spend 90 minutes of your party just watching a movie.
No, how are we
Um,
going to do this all in 4 hours?
no, I have no idea. That's the thing. This thing starts at 8:30 and only runs till 12:30. It's a lot to pack into 4 hours, especially when you consider you've got rides to do. You've got Slinky Dog, Rock and Roller Coaster, Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror, Smuggler's Run, And they are going to be bringing back the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance, which might
It's
be a
like,
good thing, so you don't kill your night standing in the line.
right, but also like I feel like you can't even go on any rides if you even want to do a majority of this stuff. And
I mean,
I'm not going to go on a ride if I go to this.
yeah, well,
I'm going to do
that's
all of it.
I mean, if you are an annual pass holder, if you are a
Mhm.
regular visitor, you have done all these rides before. And as far as I am aware, there's no special overlays. Like it would seem easy to me to swap in some holiday music to Rock and Roller Coaster, or now what I would love is to see a holiday overlay of Smuggler's Run,
Oh,
where
that would be
your
good.
mission is to get Chewbacca back home for Life Day,
Oh,
and
I love that idea.
you run into B. Arthur.
Perfect. Um, but
No,
also
that's
there's
not
all
going to
these
happen,
photo
unfortunately.
ops too. Like, how am I going to do the photo ops? Try some exclusive snacks and go to Tip Top Lounge.
Yeah.
And see Kermit. It's a
Well,
lot.
speaking of photo ops, you've got Mickey and Minnie and the gang. They're going to be in Animation Courtyard, and they're going to have a special set with holiday props. Powerline Max is going to be doing meet and greets. Phineas and Ferb, they're all going to be at Echo Lake. And Edna Mode is going to be with Frozone at Pixar Plaza, which recently reopened.
Mhm.
And Frozone is going to make it snow.
Very
And you're going to get digital downloads of and 2 new PhotoPass experiences included in the price of the ticket. They're going to be holiday themed magic shots and event themed lenses to snap with. And finally, last but not least, it couldn't be a holiday party without food to buy and then take a picture of and then take one bite of before you throw away.
Correct. Yes. This spicy Korean chicken on a funnel cake looks amazing.
That's pretty decadent. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
they always do the best boozy hot chocolate at Hollywood Studios.
that is very true. That's one I would not throw. I would finish the drinks.
Same.
The
It's so good.
specialty cocktails for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. I'm sure there's going to be, they always do some crazy cocktails there during the holidays. A lot of them are like sugar bombs, but some are really good.
So here are a few details that you need to know. If you are a guest of the resort hotels, the Swan or Dolphin or Shades of Green, tickets are going on sale June 29th. For everyone else, July 6th. This is going to be on DisneyWorld.com, and I guarantee the queue will give you a spinning line and probably crash on you at some point. And it will be a really fun experience that people will
Clear
say.
your day. That's all.
Clear your day, because everyone is going to be so happy on social media that day. Ticket prices, compared to the other hard ticket event we're about earlier, the range is $159 to $179, so a little higher on the low end, a little lower on the high end. If you're a pass holder, a DVC member, you can get $10 off. So it's just a flat $10. There used to be much deeper discounts on certain nights. Now it's flat $10 off. Fine, whatever. The thing though is, I know a lot of these. I'm used to doing these hard ticket parties out in California, where it's usually a 3-hour mix-in. You get in 3 hours before, and that really helps improve the value of your ticket. This one is only an hour and a half mix-in. The event officially starts at 8:30 p.m. and you get in at 7 p.m. So that's not a lot of time to take advantage of rides, but maybe you get in 1 or 2 attractions if you're lucky.
Right. I love the mix in. I mean, I usually have annual, so it doesn't really matter, but
sure.
The mix-in is good because I feel like you don't want to, personally, I don't want to waste my time like going to get all this food. I'm not talking about specialty treats. Like, it's a good way to go in, maybe go to like Tune In or 50s Primetime, have a drink, sit down, eat, and then you can mark your territory of where you want to start.
You can strategize, and I would highly recommend using that mix-in time. Figure out which the most popular if you're a meet and greet person, what's the most popular meet and greet?
Mm-hmm.
And target, especially what's the most popular one that's the furthest from the entrance. So you're already in the park, get back there, line up a little bit beforehand for that so you can knock that off and not spend party time waiting for that.
Absolutely. And like with Oogie Boogie Bash every year, like I legitimate make a plan because I feel like you can't just go into these things.
You absolutely need to.
You need to like look on the map where everything is, the times. And if you make a plan, you could really do a lot. And I feel like get your money's worth as opposed to just like showing up.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, we've got a video on our YouTube channel with all of the details. So check that out. And that is just going to about bring us to the end of another episode.
A lot of news.
Wow, we went over. Thank you for sticking with us, those of you who are still here.
It's an exciting time of year, though. We're talking about everything that we look forward to, from Halloween to the holidays, so it's exciting.
Before we go, let us just jump back and take a look at some of the comments that were left for us while we were recording. Vince Lamb hopping in. He was a little late, but he wants to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth. And Michael Bingham hopefully is going to be going to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas this year. Hope you get to see it. Brian Tull giving a thumbs up to those holiday costume drawing designs for the Disney Christmas characters. And as we were talking about the Minion Cafe, Michael is excited to check out the steak and cheese Ray sandwich.
It does look good, yeah.
Fantastic attractions. Checking in to say hi. S. Jester also waving hello. And Hassan Terrell saying hello and wishing everyone a happy Father's Day. Yes, you are right. Fantastic attractions. There is going to be a lot to do at Jollywood crammed into just 4 hours.
4 hours.
And I know Michael is going to prioritize saying hello to Phineas and Ferb. That brings us to the end of our comments. Before we go, we want to thank once again our sponsor, MEI and MEI-Travel. And I want to remind everyone to please give us a rating and a review wherever it is you listen to us. And please be sure to follow us on attractionsmagazine.com. Search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media accounts. You can find me on social at the UG Series, at The Unofficial Guides, and theunofficialguides.com. Carly, where can everyone find you?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly and on Twitter at Carly Caramana.
Until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you again next time.
Next week.
Bye.